Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and yep, I've only bloomin' played Mario Strikers Battle League Football. As is now finally becoming custom again, Nintendo invited me down to their offices, and I played the game in a, restricted session and all that, and I played the game for about an hour, and I'm gonna tell you, actually no, it was about 90 minutes. Which feels appropriate. And I'm only gonna bloomin' tell you what I think of the whole blinking thing that I played. And yes, there's only a preview, only a sort of a mere glimpse into the window of what the game is, but I can guarantee that Daisy isn't in it. Unless she's unlockable, which I also don't know. But anyway, that's more than enough waffling. Let's dive right into things. So let me just open things by saying that yes, the game is good. Like, from what I played, the game is very, very good. I played the Wii version, Mario Strikers Charged. I played that a fair amount when I was at university, and I got a Wii for the first time. Ha! That makes me sound old. But I just got it late. And it was good fun, I really enjoyed it, and I was keen to see what they were going to do with this new one, and I've seen the trailers, and I don't know whether maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention, but there is so much more going on in this game than the previous ones. Oh my god. I even had to refer back to the manual. I mean, admittedly, I could have booted up the game, but, the manual knows. The manual knows, and it was quicker, just to make sure that I wasn't being an idiot and forgetting or never realized that there were various different functions that are in Battle League that weren't in this. And it turns out all the ones that I thought were new are. So we've seen things like the team tackle and things like that. That is hard to pull off. Like, it is stupidly powerful. Like, stupidly powerful. If you manage to hit someone, and, one of your teammates, and they've got the ball already, you can send them, like, a good chunk of the field. I was about to say an amount, but I'm not as confident as I once was. But you can blast them across, and nothing can stop it as far as I know. Maybe something can. Maybe if someone else teams tackles you, I don't know. But as it stands, from what I saw, that is like unstoppable. Bang! Everything else gets pushed out of the way. The only thing is that it is really tough to pull off. I can't remember whether I said that, but it is really, really tough to pull off. Not because of, mechanically, it requires a really complicated button input or anything like that. No, you just tackle into a teammate. But the thing is that it is so situational and so contextual that it makes it, I wouldn't say impossible to do. I'm sure if you're playing online or, you're playing with friends, I did do some co-op, but not a lot. I imagine it's a lot easier, but at the same time, that requires a lot of communication and a lot of understanding. It's the sort of thing where I imagine, more play will open up more things, more situations to allow this to occur, more naturally, more standardly, but that is far from the only original inclusion. There's also, and this is the main thing I had to check the manual for. I didn't have to check for that. God, what do you take me for? You can now dodge when you've got the ball. Part of me thinks you might even be able to dodge when you don't have the ball, which might be useful. This allows you to roll or dive out of the way of an oncoming tackle, and the tackles can be pretty brutal in this game. I don't know whether you can dodge a team tackle or not, but yeah, it's something that, in a way, I sort of assumed must have been in the older games because it's just so obvious. Of course, when you've got the ball, what do you want to do? Oh, maybe you'll pass it, maybe you'll do a chip or something like that. Okay, yeah, but what if you need to, what if there's no opportunities? What were you going to do? Dodge out the way. You can still maintain control of the ball and just whoop. Furthermore, if you do it like perfectly enough with the correct timing, you can, you get a little speed boost as well. The game slows down for a brief moment. It sort of goes, it does like a little, almost like a slow-mo replay. It happens less than a second, but it's like you dodge and it goes, whoa, and you get a little speed boost at the end. Really powerful. There is so much tech in this game, and there is so much, and I know none of these things like dodging and stuff like that, hardly original. I know it's been in God knows how many games before. It's probably been in other football games, but it's new here, and it's one of those things where adding just one small change opens things up enormously, and they haven't just done that once. They've done it with like some more things. I don't want to say a number because I've got a terrible memory, but it is good and it is fast. The game is so fast. You don't appreciate it. Like, I didn't appreciate it watching my footage back. I was like, yeah, that looks about, about right. And maybe it's because I'm inexperienced with the game because it's not even blinking out yet. But when I was playing it, I was just like, oh my God, it's so fast. And it's like you can blink and the ball's on one side, and then you blink, and then the ball's on the other side, and the opponent's scored, and it's like, what's going on? But that's because you're not paying attention enough, or at least I wasn't paying attention enough. It's obviously very early doors, but I do see there being quite a substantial skill ceiling with this. With Striker's Charge, I can't compare to the original because I haven't played it, because I just haven't. But Striker's Charged, it was a bit, it wasn't much of a sort of a competitive sort of edge to it. I mean, maybe there is, and I'm just completely ignorant and unfamiliar with it, but it didn't feel like a competitive game. It was great fun, it was frenetic, sort of combat football, but it was, it didn't have a huge skill ceiling, which is the complete blinking opposite of Battle League. Like, it really feels like it could just go and go and go, and people will be finding little things here and there, little exploits and weird little things. It honestly, in many ways, it feels a bit like Smash. Like, not in terms of the way that it plays or anything like that. Well, actually, no, exactly in the way that it plays, you doofus. It is nowhere near as complicated as Smash or anything like that, and you are way more limited in what you can do, but the way that it sort of feels like it's got all these, on the face of it, it sort of looks like, oh, pick up and play easy, but then, a typical thing. Easy to play, hard to master, or easy to learn, hard to master, whatever the bloody expression is. You can hand a Joy-Con each to your niece and nephew, and they could have an absolute blast immediately. They'd be like, wow, I'm playing the football. And, they don't really need to learn about dodging and perfect timing and things like that, because there's all this stuff. Like, even perfect passing. Was that even a thing in... I'm gonna check. Doesn't say it's in there, but it could have been. But your niece and nephew, they can pick it up, have a grand old time. Whee! Mario football! But then, you can then take your Switch home, clean it off after they've got their grubby fingers all over it, clean it off, put it back in the dock, and you can, with a LAN connection, and you can play online. I said a LAN connection. A wired connection, and you can play online with your friends and absolutely dominate and use all the various different techniques and different skills and, sort of using the gear as well. I haven't even talked about the gear, and have a really competitive time. It's looking really promising. Again, early doors, we'll have to wait until the game actually comes out, but initial impressions are strong. Actually, we'll talk about the gear. We'll talk about the gear briefly. I didn't think the gear would make a huge difference, and it doesn't make an enormous difference. It's largely... I want to say largely cosmetic, but it's not. It's sort of 50% cosmetic. It's kind of like Monster Hunter in that way, where you want to have all the, you want to get your stats just right, but you also want to look cool while doing it. It's a really minor thing, but I think the thing I like most about the gear system, apart from actually making Toad viable, like, Toad is so weak. If you tackle, like, Bowser as Toad, he just sort of goes, wah! And he, goes into Bowser, and Bowser sort of flinches, but it still has possession of the ball and can still carry on. Unless you do a charged tackle, which, again, I'm fairly certain is a new thing. And then Toad can actually, knock him on his bonds, and Toad can take possession and all that sort of thing. It definitely slows him down, and you whack him into well, that was loud. You whack him into the electrified fence and everything, you're golden. You can take possession of the ball, but yeah, you need to give Toad a bit more oomph, although he's a fast bugger. And you can do that with gear, and that's a good thing. It means that you're not limited to what the character's stats are. I mean, you are to a degree, but you can tweak them, make them more to your playstyle, but it is always a tit for tat. So, for example, if you get 2, you increase 2 in power because you're wearing some fancy gloves, you may lose 2 in speed, for example. And, it's always a tit for tat thing. It's not like, sort of, oh, you get 3 more to really encourage you to use gear. You can go with, no gear at all, and you'll have the same, base number in terms of your stats as you would with gear. which is good. So the game plays really well, it's got a lot of flexibility, but the thing that really stood out to me, like really stood out, you can tell it's a next level game. The animations are unmatched. The animations are incredible. Just have some clips. Just have some clips.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
The last time we saw any of the Mario characters animating this smoothly was obviously, it was Luigi's Mansion 3, which is made by the same bloody people. I genuinely can't get over how good they are. They are so good. There's so much energy and passion in there, and it makes it look like the characters have some real personality to them and gives them some real oomph. And that personality carries over into the mega... What, are they called Mega Strikes? Hyper Strikes? They're called Hyper Strikes. The standout for me, and unfortunately I don't think I've got any footage of it because my recording software was just like, yeah, you've been recording for a fair bit. Why don't I just stop here and not tell you? In fact, I don't even think it did stop. I told it to stop. I just didn't record it like the last 20 minutes of what I was recording, which was fun. But the standout one that I saw was Peaches. It was great. She does like all this twirly-whirly stuff, and that's fine, you know, sort of does a big kick, and it like does like a heart shape. It sort of spreads out in a heart shape, and then it, you know, goes to the goalie, and the goalie like caught it, and they're like forcing it back, and it was the CPU, and they were going like that. Boom Boom was holding this, and then he just stops, turns around, and rolls the ball into the goal and starts waving to it like that with hearts in his eyes. Absolutely spectacular. I loved every second. I am really, really looking forward to this game. Like, seriously looking forward. I feel like I could talk more, but I'd just be repeating myself ad nauseum because I just want to talk about the same things time and time again. I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on the full game. I think it's going to have major chops, serious potential, and fingers crossed I'm not wrong, because that would be a shame, because my god, it is shaping up to be maybe the best of the Mario Strikers games. Admittedly, haven't played the first one, of course, but it feels a bit better than Charge. It doesn't feel quite as chaotic, you know? It feels like there's a little bit more tactical stuff going on. But who knows? But what do you think of the game? Do you think it looks the bee's knees? Let us know with a comment down below. And if you just want to see some more gameplay, we'll have some more of that going out soon. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you carefully caress that subscribe button and roll it to where it wants to be. And be sure to check out UntitledLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.